Well, hi there, everybody. I'm Andy Stanley, and I'm so honored you've invited me to be a part of your group for the next few weeks, the next few days, or if you're a binge watcher, maybe just the next few hours. Whatever the case, thank you. And on behalf of the folks closest to you, the folks who depend on you, thanks for setting aside some time to discuss a topic that intersects and influences the direction of your life and consequently influences the direction of their life as well, every single day. In fact, multiple times a day. Namely, we're talking about decision making. Your decisions have and will continue to determine the direction and the quality of your life. And if that's not motivation enough to get this right, your decisions determine the direction and quality of other people's lives as well. So let's jump in. And I can't think of a better way to begin our time together than with a story about one of my favorite people and perhaps one of your favorite people as well, my dad. When I was a kid, my dad had a terrible habit. At least I thought it was a terrible habit. He wouldn't tell me what to do. Specifically, he wouldn't tell me what to do when I didn't know what to do, and I wanted him to tell me what he thought I should do. Now, I know most kids don't want their parents telling them what to do, and I was like most kids most of the time, but on occasion, I wanted him to tell me what to do, and he wouldn't. Worse, instead of answering my questions, he would ask me questions. And his go-to question was this. He would say, Andy, what are you going to do when I'm not around to tell you what to do? It would just drive me crazy. And my go-to response to his go-to question is, Dad, but you are around, so tell me. Now, of course, my dad's go-to question wasn't his only question. During middle school and high school, his arsenal of questions included one of the 5 questions that we're going to explore later. He would say, Andy, what is the wise thing to do? What is the wise thing to do? Now, as a teenager, that question usually eliminated most of my preferred options. But, when I took it seriously, it actually eliminated a lot of unnecessary regret as well. Now, what I didn't appreciate then that I most certainly appreciate now was why. Why all the questions? Why not just tell me what to do? And you can probably guess the answer to that question, right? He was more interested in teaching me how to make decisions than he was in making decisions for me. Now, granted, he started early, and maybe he started too early, but to his credit and to my advantage, he started while the stakes were low. Because as a kid, right, not very much hung in the balance of my decisions. But he knew that that would change with time. And he wanted me to be ready. And here's the funny thing. I've actually employed this same strategy with my kids, or at least I've tried to anyway. Who knows, maybe one day they'll write a book about it. Now, unbeknownst to my dad, he was actually teaching me something else as well. And that something else is actually the point of our time together. By opting for questions over direction, my dad connected 2 very important dots for me. In fact, I think these are dots most adults never connect. He helped me make the connection between good questions and good decisions. Good questions and good decisions. To tease that out a bit, he helped me make the connection between well-placed, appropriately timed, thought-provoking questions and good decision-making. Or simply put, good questions lead to better decisions. And better decisions always lead to fewer regrets. This is why on the backside of a bad decision, it's not unusual to hear someone say something like, I should have asked more questions. And why do they say that? Because, well, we know intuitively that the more questions we ask, the more information we have, which leads to greater insight and hopefully better decisions. But pausing to ponder a list of potentially disruptive questions is not easy, and it's certainly not intuitive. In fact, the truth is, let's be honest, most of us resist uninvited questions when we're making a decision, right? In fact, in the moment, we feel like we're being questioned rather than simply being asked a question. And there's a big difference between the two. And when we confuse one for the other, our defenses go up and our learning aptitude goes down. In fact, it is virtually impossible, you know this, it is virtually impossible to welcome new information and insight when we're convinced that, somebody's questioning our judgment. And this is especially true when we're making personal decisions. After all, they're personal. Translated, it's nobody's business. But let's be honest, and we're going to come back to this. You've never made a personal decision that didn't become somebody's business, right? In fact, every decision we make impacts somebody, and it's usually the folks closest to us. And there's no getting around this. There's no getting around the fact that well-placed, Appropriately timed, thought-provoking questions result in better decisions and fewer regrets.